Something is sitting on your kitchen counter right now. You bought it yesterday. You have eaten it your whole life. And for most of that life, it kept you strong. But here's what no one told you when you turned 50. The egg did not change, you did. Your digestion changed. The way your body handles certain proteins, certain fats, certain chemical combinations, all of it shifted, quietly, without warning. And the foods sitting right next to that egg on your plate, some of them are now working against you in ways that are invisible and dangerously easy to miss. So here is the question that will follow you through this entire video. Are you eating eggs the right way, or are you pairing them with foods that your body, at this stage of life, simply cannot handle anymore? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly which 6 foods to keep away from your eggs, and why your doctor may never have told you this. Eggs have been a staple food for thousands of years. Affordable, protein-rich, and easy to prepare. For seniors, people between 50 and 75, eggs are widely recommended as a reliable source of protein, healthy fats, and essential nutrients like choline and vitamin D. But nutrition science has advanced significantly, and what researchers now know is this: it is not always what you eat alone that matters, it is what you eat together. For seniors, certain food combinations involving eggs can trigger inflammation, spike blood pressure, block nutrient absorption, or quietly worsen conditions you are already managing. This matters right now because the global population over 60 is the fastest growing demographic in human history. And most of the dietary advice that seniors receive was designed for younger bodies. That gap between what seniors are told to eat and what their bodies can actually process is exactly what this video addresses. The story of egg and food combination research did not begin overnight. It developed through decades of clinical observation that gradually revealed something important. Digestion is not just about individual ingredients. It is about chemical interactions, enzymatic responses, and how the aging body processes a meal as a whole. In the early 1970s, researchers studying cardiovascular disease noticed a pattern. Seniors eating high-protein breakfasts with eggs alongside sodium-rich processed foods showed elevated blood pressure within 90 minutes of eating. The combination, not the egg alone, was the trigger. Through the 1980s and 1990s, research expanded into sulfur compounds in digestion. Eggs are naturally high in sulfur-containing amino acids. When these interact with other sulfur-rich foods, the result in seniors with slower gut motility is prolonged bloating, discomfort, and aggravated digestive symptoms. Then in 2003, a landmark study tracked over 8,000 adults aged 50 to 78 across 5 years. Seniors who consistently paired eggs with full-fat dairy showed measurably higher LDL cholesterol elevation than those who paired eggs with vegetables or grains. The combination was the key variable, not the egg by itself. By 2012, pharmacologists had documented another concern. The fat in egg yolk slows gastric emptying, meaning medications taken at the same breakfast arrived in the bloodstream significantly later. For seniors managing thyroid conditions, heart disease, or diabetes, that delay was clinically meaningful. Between 2019 and 2023, studies from the Mayo Clinic, the British Heart Foundation, and researchers in South Korea identified specific food pairings that posed the greatest consistent risk for seniors eating eggs regularly. None of these studies said eggs were dangerous. Every single one of them said the context. What surrounds the egg on the plate determines whether it helps or quietly harms. Now, let us talk about the 6 specific foods, one by one, because this is where things get real. Food number 1, bacon and processed meats. This is the most common breakfast combination in the world. Eggs and bacon, eggs and sausage, eggs and deli ham. It feels natural, it feels satisfying. But here's what the research says. Processed meats contain high concentrations of nitrates, sodium, and saturated fat. When eaten alongside eggs, which are themselves rich in dietary cholesterol, the combined cardiovascular load for seniors is significantly higher than either food produces alone. A single serving of bacon can exceed 900 milligrams of sodium. 2 eggs fried in butter alongside it can push total saturated fat past a senior's recommended daily limit in a single meal. The American Heart Association confirmed that seniors with existing cardiovascular conditions should treat this combination with consistent caution. Not occasional concern, but consistent daily caution. Food number 2. Full-fat aged cheese omelets with cheddar, scrambled eggs with parmesan. These are beloved combinations, but full-fat aged cheeses contain both saturated fat and high sodium. Combined with the dietary cholesterol in egg yolks, this pairing produces a more pronounced LDL cholesterol spike in seniors than in younger adults eating the exact same meal. This happens because the liver's ability to regulate cholesterol production declines after the age of 50. The good news is this. Low-fat fresh cheeses, ricotta, cottage cheese, fresh mozzarella, do not produce the same effect. The risk is specific to aged, full-fat varieties eaten in quantities above 30 grams per serving. So the solution is not to remove cheese from your eggs entirely. It is to choose the right kind of cheese. Food number 3. Soy products. This finding is particularly important for seniors across East Asia, where soy-based foods are eaten daily, and increasingly in Western countries where soy milk, tofu, and edamame have become mainstream. Soy contains compounds called phytates. These are naturally occurring substances that bind to minerals during digestion and reduce their absorption. Eggs are an excellent source of bioavailable iron and zinc, nutrients that seniors are already at higher risk of being deficient in. When eggs and soy are eaten together, the phytates in soy bind with the iron in eggs before it can be properly absorbed. For seniors, an estimated 20% of whom over age 65 are already iron deficient. This combination may silently worsen that deficiency over months without any obvious immediate symptom. No dramatic warning sign, just a quiet, invisible drain on something your body needs. Food number 4. Raw cruciferous vegetables. Now this one surprises people, because vegetables are healthy. Eggs are healthy, surely they belong together, and for many seniors they absolutely do. But there is a specific subcategory of raw vegetables that creates a particular problem when eaten alongside eggs. Raw broccoli, raw cauliflower, raw cabbage, and raw Brussels sprouts contain a complex sugar called raffinose. The human digestive system cannot fully break down raffinose without assistance from gut bacteria. When raffinose ferments in the large intestine alongside the sulfur compounds naturally present in eggs, the result in seniors with reduced gut motility is prolonged gas, significant bloating, and abdominal discomfort that can last for several hours. Here is the key word, raw. Cooking these vegetables, steaming, roasting, sautéing, substantially reduces this effect by breaking down raffinose before it ever reaches your gut. This is not a reason to avoid broccoli or cauliflower. It is a reason to cook them before pairing them with eggs. Food number 5, reused cooking oil or sugary fried foods. This one is about what the egg was cooked in, not just what sits beside it on the plate. When eggs are fried in oil that has already been used to cook sugary foods, pastries, or battered items, they absorb compounds called advanced glycation end products. These are formed when proteins or fats combine with sugar under high heat. In seniors whose antioxidant defenses already operate at reduced capacity, the inflammatory response to these compounds is significantly stronger than in younger adults. Researchers confirmed that seniors eating eggs fried in reused oil 4 or more times per week showed elevated levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation in the body, compared to those using fresh oil or cooking eggs without oil entirely. The fix here is simple. Use fresh oil every time. Or better yet, poach or boil your eggs and remove the variable entirely. Food number 6, caffeinated coffee or strong black tea. And here's the one that will affect the most people watching this. Because for millions of seniors around the world, breakfast is eggs and coffee. It is ritual. It is the start of the day. It is comfort in a cup. But here's what researchers found. Caffeine at the doses found in 2 or more strong cups has been reported to interfere with calcium absorption when consumed alongside protein and fat-rich foods, including eggs. For seniors already at elevated risks of osteoporosis and bone density loss, this daily interaction is clinically meaningful when it occurs consistently over months and years. Separately, the tannins in strong black tea bind to the iron in egg yolk in a manner similar to soy phytates, reducing bioavailable iron absorption by up to 28% in a single meal. The National Osteoporosis Foundation now suggests seniors space their egg meal and their coffee by at least 30 to 45 minutes. That one small change, 30 minutes, can meaningfully reduce both of these effects now. It would be dishonest to present all of this without also saying what the scientific community itself acknowledges. Not every researcher agrees, and not every senior will experience these effects equally. Some nutrition scientists argue that these food combination effects are statistically real but clinically modest for healthy seniors. Their position is that a senior eating eggs with bacon twice a week within an otherwise balanced diet is unlikely to experience measurable harm from that pairing alone. Total dietary pattern, they argue, matters far more than any individual combination. This is a legitimate perspective. The research does not unanimously declare these combinations dangerous for every person in every circumstance. What it consistently reports is that risk increases. And for seniors already managing heart disease, osteoporosis, iron deficiency, or digestive conditions, even a modest, consistent increase in risk deserves a conversation with a doctor. Behind every study and every statistic is a real person. A grandmother making the same breakfast she has made for 40 years. A retired father who starts every morning with eggs, toast, and 2 strong coffees. People who are not doing anything wrong. They are simply doing what they were never told to reconsider. The impact of these combinations is rarely dramatic. It does not announce itself loudly. It looks like fatigue that does not lift, a digestive discomfort that becomes routine, a cholesterol number that creeps upward on an annual blood test. These are the kinds of changes that seniors often attribute simply to aging, when in some cases they may be partly attributable to what is on the breakfast plate. That is not cause for alarm. It is cause for awareness. Small adjustments, spacing coffee and eggs by 30 minutes, switching to fresh oil, choosing fresh cheese over aged, can shift these outcomes meaningfully. The goal is not to fear food. The goal is to understand it. Think of the aging body like a car that has been running well for 50 years. The engine still works. The filters are older. The fuel efficiency is different. You can still drive the same roads, but some combinations of fuel and conditions that the engine once handled easily now require a little more care. The broader picture here is about personalized nutrition. The idea that one dietary guideline fits all ages is increasingly outdated. Researchers and clinicians are moving toward age-specific dietary frameworks, recognizing that the gut, liver function, hormonal environment, and medication load of a 65-year-old body interacts with food in fundamentally different ways than a 30-year-old body does. This does not ask you to abandon what you love. It asks you to make small, informed adjustments, the kind that a single honest conversation with your doctor or a registered dietitian can clarify in minutes. So let us recap what we know. 6 foods: processed meats, aged full-fat cheese, soy products, raw cruciferous vegetables, reused frying oil, and caffeinated coffee or strong black tea have been reported by researchers across multiple institutions to create measurable risks when paired with eggs in seniors over 50. What we do not yet fully know is whether these risks apply equally to all seniors, regardless of genetics, overall diet quality, or activity level. The research is real, it is meaningful, and it is not yet complete. What comes next is simple. One conversation with your doctor, one question about food combinations in the context of your specific health conditions. That is all this requires to begin. Eggs are still one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. That has not changed. What this video has asked you to consider is simply the company they keep on your plate. Because at this stage of life, company matters more than it ever did before. If this video gave you something useful today, please share it with someone who needs it. And if you want to go deeper, our next video covers 7 foods that doctors say seniors should eat every single day. And the reasons why are just as surprising. The link is right on your screen. Take care of yourself. You have earned it.